Hello and welcome to the APMA podcast. I'm here with Jordan. How are you doing, Jordan? It's been a little while.
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. I've been ill.
Oof, well, it's not that good then.
No, not really, actually. Oh, look! I've got a bit of
Let's,
fucking broccoli in my teeth.
that's it.
It's
Well, you're getting your
got it.
greens in.
Got it. Yeah, I said jacket potato and broccoli. Jeez.
Jacket potato and broccoli.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting,
That's
isn't it?
that's a mean meal.
Yeah, protein shake.
Oh Jesus.
Went to the gym after work, smashed chest, and then swam. Good God.
Wow.
Yeah, that was
Fuck.
intense. That was fucking intense. But it
Jeez.
was good. It was good. It's my first time back in the gym in 2 weeks because, like I said, I've been ill. I
Mm.
got that fucking COVID shite or whatever they're talking about's going around at the minute. That really was fucking evil as well. But I'm pretty
It's
sure I'm pretty sure I did it to myself because
oh
I trained for 23 days in a row because I was trying to
okay.
train for 30 days in a row, and I think I just broke my body down, and
Yeah,
then just got like a whiff of that, and it just fucking wiped me out.
that's it.
Yeah.
'Cause I think I might be wrong in saying this, but I think it faded for a couple of days, then came back, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I had it solid for like a week and a half, and then I was getting better for like 3 days, and then it just came back in full force and I was ill again. But you can kind of hear it still, and I mean, I got this about 3 weeks ago, and it's
Jesus.
still just, like, lingering. It's so annoying, but it's a
Mm.
lot better now. Fucking hell, and like I said, it's the first time back in the gym today, which is good. Um, yeah, I've still been taking like creatine and stuff the whole time, so been building up my creatine stores. So today was quite good, really. Very strong, but yeah, nice. It's good.
Yeah, it's good.
How
It's
are
good.
you been?
Been all right. Been religiously sticking to the 3 days. I do want to try and up a day a week,
Yeah,
but it would mean going before or after work, and that's just not only is it hard to do from a willpower stance because it's after or before work, but the amount of people that'll be in the gym is
yeah.
another thing to contend with.
What days do you currently do?
Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Thursday, Saturday, Sunday. That's an interesting split.
Mm,
I can see why you do it because of work.
yeah,
Could you not do like a 7 o'clock session on like
do yeah, I could do.
of
Um,
dies down a little bit, half 7 kind of dies
Yeah,
down
half
a little
7,
bit.
8 o'clock would probably be the time I'd go if I went in the evening.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, I've started to do ever slightly increase my cardio over the last like 3, 4 weeks,
nice.
even though it just as soon as I finish my strength training, I know just looking at the treadmill, I'm just like, why? Why is this my life now? But yeah,
That's it.
yeah.
I'll tell you what we could do actually, because our friend Dan is building a gym in his garage. Do
Yeah.
you know how much money he's fucking spent?
Oh, fuck, mate. He was talking to me about buying flooring,
Yeah.
and I said, "Mate, there's already a floor. Why are you buying flooring to go on top of the floor?"
Well, also, fucking Maya's parents, who got a home gym, they threw out a load of floor tiles, but they were like uh black, blue, and red,
Jesus
which
Christ.
he could have had for free.
Wow.
But he didn't want them because they're all, the 3 different colors. Fair enough. Like, you're trying to build your dream home gym. Said he spent 500 quid
Yeah,
on some foam tiles for his floor.
that's
So
insane.
it's like, holy shit. It looks great though. He's
It does
got
look
he's got like it's got a pretty cool fucking setup at the going.
yeah.
But yeah, that's what I was going to suggest was actually, why don't you see if you can organize with Dan doing an after work round his one day a
Yeah,
week or something.
he has talked about it, to be fair, so when he's, like, fully up and running, because I think
Yeah.
he wants to get eventually obviously, he wants to get, like, a dumbbell set, but they're
Yeah.
so expensive.
Yeah. So I suggested to him getting one of
Or the adjustable ones.
the adjustable ones.
Yeah.
Still a lot of money, but they're a lot cheaper than a whole set of fucking dumbbells, and it's a lot better for space.
Yeah.
Even though it's got a big double garage to fucking, but yeah, it's pretty crazy how expensive all that stuff is.
Mm. Yeah, but once these, well, I think he's pretty much done now. To be honest, I think there's a few things he wants to get, but
Yeah, he's got his squat rack, he's got his bench, he's got the Olympic bar and the plates. He's got the cable, which is really fucking cool.
yeah,
Yeah, I know he wants to get a treadmill to like,
yeah, I think he wants to get like
put
a
in there.
fold up one that you can put in the corner.
Yeah, yeah. It's a shame he doesn't want a cross trainer because I got one he could literally just take from me, please.
Please get it away from me.
I just want to be able to play table tennis again. Fucking, I got a table tennis table I can't even use because there's a fucking cross trainer in the way.
I genuinely think that table tennis table has been used more for beer pong than it has table tennis.
Yes, at this point, yeah, it's true.
There you go. So
Because
great
the only
double.
because if it's an evening party, then I can be asked to move everything out of the way. But when it's
Yeah,
just I fancy a game of table tennis, I can't be asked to move a fucking cross trainer. Do you know how much they weigh? A fucking lot.
a lot, a
Yeah, I
lot.
used it about 6 times in the 2.5 years I've had it.
I don't think anyone actually really uses a cross train.
No, not
Even like
really.
at the gym, I don't see anyone on one. I never. They're just
Yeah.
left in the corner, far away.
So just got a treadmill, man.
Yeah, shoulda, woulda, coulda.
Tough. Yeah, it's tough. Yeah. Oh
Anyway,
god. Yeah. If you want to just intro the AI phenomena, I'm gonna there's a little bit of flex here. I need to go get the control for my aircon because I am fucking sweating. Oh, wait a minute.
so well, I'll tell you what. I'm sweating too, but I just deal with the window being open and having a piss poor fan blowing like lukewarm air onto my legs. But there you go. That's just me. That's my despair that I live in. You know, almost third world. Anyway, AI, AI in video games, AI in media in general. We're gonna be chatting about that today, just because I think if it continues to go the way I think it will go, it's just like no one's gonna be making shit anymore. So just leave it to AI. I know there's been a or basically strike action has been called for video game performers who are afraid that their jobs will basically be taken away. A lot of studios will favor AI just because it's cheaper, long run. Um, you can use someone's likeness or their voice, pay them once for it, and then use it indefinitely, which is something that they're obviously not wanting to happen because that literally puts them out of a job. But I'll just say, from a concept, what do you think about AI in like original art and stuff like that?
It's quite interesting. I can totally understand why people are so worried about it, especially with the fact that you've got a lot of this AI art is, if not all of it, is comprised of art stolen from the internet because obviously it has to draw from somewhere.
Yeah.
So there's argument for copyright infringement on that,
Mm.
which is obviously very bad. Um, I know a lot of artists are thoroughly against it, and they're trying to sort of like bring in legislation to either kill it or slow it down, or really increase copyright laws within the AI space. I guess it's the fear, isn't it, of being replaced. Which is funny because I feel like when people used to talk about AI, you thought about robots being well, you either thought about robots being created in the end of the world, or AI doing all the mundane shit for us,
Yeah.
and then us being able to just live our beautiful, wonderful, creative freedoms. And yet, all we've really seen from AI up till now is how easily and seamlessly and quickly it can replicate our creativity,
Yeah.
in writing and art and all of that sort of stuff. Yeah, it's it's very interesting for sure.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I think there might be a place for AI in gaming or in media, but it can't, in my opinion, it can't be in the creative process, and it can't be like create scripts from this, create
Yeah,
dialogue, create cutscenes. Like for me, that's just basically you might as well just create the entire game using AI if you're going to do that. Um,
yeah,
if it's like I don't know, do you want to get a few ideas of concept art for a certain scene or something and you produce I know you've got the argument about it, but drawing from things that have already been published, so there is a copyright issue that maybe for that. But if it's just like to get a couple of concept art images together just to get a feel of what a certain environment should look like, I think that's maybe semi passable. But if
mm,
it's like Chat GPT, create me a script for the entire film or the entire game.
yeah.
That's when it becomes like, okay, well,
But it's the thing is though, I think, and obviously it's early days, so to speak. But at the moment, it's just not good enough for that.
no,
You know,
absolutely not. That's
without
why,
being blatantly obvious.
yeah, that's why I think they will kind of put this. My prediction is they'll put this kind of like in the background for a
Mm,
few years, still operate on it, still get it to learn
yeah,
from all the content that is being produced now and have been produced up until this point, and they'll just maybe use it for like really mundane shit, like maybe NPC dialogue that you're probably never ever going to come across in
yeah,
most people's playthrough of a game, or like maybe a few objects in the background of a scene. I don't know, but I don't think it's going to be front and center
yeah,
in media just because there's such a massive uproar about it. But if we know what's happened about a lot of things, it just let the fucking rage die down for a bit and then
yeah,
just slowly implement it in a few years, but not
yeah.
massive, I've gotta be honest.
I mean, it's difficult, isn't it? It depends on your usage. I mean, that it has so many positives, um, as well. You know,
Yeah,
if you take away, all the I don't know, I don't want to say the morals, but like, if you've got, say, a gaming studio that are up against it, they're behind on schedule or whatever, and stress is going through the roof and people's lives are being affected, to be able to have, you know, shortcuts maybe isn't the worst thing in the world.
yeah,
Um, but also, I know obviously AI can generate from nothing, but I'm sure AI can also assist if you have assets. So if you had assets, characters drawn out, etc., and then you said, these are the characters, now create this scenario for a cinematic. I don't really have too much of an issue with that. If you're I don't see much of a difference in that to just having like a kind of sandbox with these assets in it and then having people fuck around with them, other than it's not being done by a person, you know?
mm,
I
yeah,
mean, this is a bit of a random, not really random, but this is an example I can give you. So, I was asked if I wanted to participate in D&D, and after really enjoying Baldur's Gate 3, I was like, "Yeah, fuck it," and I did it a couple of times. I haven't in a few weeks because I've been ill and stuff, but I had to come up with a character, right? And so I played fucking WoW for a long time, so I'm pretty decent with naming characters. So I come up with the idea of a wood elf ranger called Ilaran Ravenpath, right? That's a fucking
wow,
cool name,
very
yeah?
good.
So what I did, 'cause, I thought we were gonna be playing, say, like, this is a Friday night I get asked, I thought we'd be playing the following Thursday or Friday. All of a sudden, it was like, "Oh, we can do it on Sunday if you fancy." So I was like, "Oh shit!" So I was like, "Okay, I'm going to ask Chat GPT to create a backstory for my character with prompts." Right. So what I'll do is I'll read the prompt and then I'll read the story that Chat GPT created
Okay.
because it's fucking immense, to be honest. So I wrote, please write a backstory for a wood elf ranger on D&D. His name is Ilaran Ravenpath, an exiled wood elf whose people were massacred by marauding orcs after his exile. He is torn by anguish for the loss of his people, but remains angered at his exile, even though in hindsight it saved his life. Now a stalker of the swamps, a savage ranger. So that's the idea I had, right? This is what ChatGPT produced. I'm going to just warn you, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's 8 paragraphs. Okay.
Okay.
So buckle up.
Sure, a
Right.
bit.
Ilaran Ravenpath, the exiled ranger. Ilaran Ravenpath was born into the serene, verdant forests of insert forest name here. A hidden enclave of wood elves renowned for their harmony with nature and mastery of archery. As a young elf, Ilaran showed exceptional promise. His skills with the bow and his keen senses made him a standout amongst his peers. His family, the Ravenpaths, were respected guardians of the forest, their legacy intertwined with the ancient woods they protected. Ilaran's path, however, took a dark turn when he was falsely accused of a grievous crime, the murder of the village's revered elder. The evidence was damning, though fabricated, and despite his fervent pleas of innocence, the council exiled him. With a heavy heart and a spirit brimming with anger and confusion, Ilaran was cast out into the wild, forbidden to return under the penalty of death. For years, Ilaran wandered the peripheries of his homeland, surviving off the land and owning his skills. He transformed from a promising young ranger into a fierce, solitary predator of the wild. He stalked the swamps that bordered his former home, a shadow among the reeds and trees, unseen and unheard. One fateful day, as he was scouting the outskirts of insert forest here, Ilaran witnessed a horrifying sight. A horde of marauding orcs, their eyes gleaming with malice, descended upon his village. Bound by the terms of his exile, Ilaran could do nothing but watch from afar as his people, his family, and friends were brutally massacred. His heart shattered as he saw the once vibrant village reduced to ashes and blood. Torn by anguish for the loss of his people, Ilaran was consumed by guilt and rage. The bitterness of his exile, which had once seemed an unjust punishment, now felt like a cruel twist of fate that had inadvertently saved his life. This torment drove him deeper into the swamps, where he became a creature of the wild, forsaking the light for the shadows. In the swamps, Ilaran forged a new life. He became a savage ranger, a stalker of the night, using his skills to hunt down any who dared to enter his domain with ill intent. He was a ghost in the mist, a protector of the wilds who knew no mercy. The swamps whispered his name with both fear and reverence. Ilaran Ravenpath, the exiled guardian. Despite his hardened exterior, a part of Ilaran still yearned for redemption. He sought to avenge his people, to hunt down the orc warbands responsible for the massacre. Each orc he killed was a step towards vengeance, but it was also a reminder of what he had lost. His anger at his exile still simmered, but now it was tempered with a grim understanding of survival and fate. Ilaran's journey is one of pain and perseverance, a relentless pursuit of justice in the shadows of the swamps. He is a reminder that even in the darkest times, the spirit can endure, and though exiled, a true ranger never forgets his roots or his duty to protect the land and its memory. I mean, when I fucking typed in my paragraph and it
Yeah.
came out with that, I was like, this shit is the bollocks.
I mean, to be fair, that is pretty banging.
That's a fucking sick story, isn't it?
For one try at that prompt, the
Yeah.
first try at that prompt as well.
Yeah.
It is
It's
pretty good.
nuts. So
Yeah.
that's the power of it. And that is to me, that is like a completely innocent use of it as well. You know, I'm not gonna fucking write a book or anything Like I've got this character, I've got this idea for the story. All of a sudden, shit, I've got to like finish off my character sheet, which includes backstory, and I wanted it to be decent. I didn't really want to just rock up and be like, I'm an elf with a bow. You're right. So using Chat GPT to create that based on my core ideas,
Yeah.
that's where I think Chat GPT and AI is pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, I suppose using it for something like that is completely just innocent and fine. If you were to create a real character, like a tangible character for
Yeah,
something, that's where I think it changes into like, okay,
100%, mate. Because if I was writing a fantasy book and I was like, right, I've got this character and bosh, and then because I can't. Well, I don't know. I'm not going to put myself down. If I tried, I might be able to create something like that. But you know, off the bat, I can't fucking churn out what that just churned out. So if I was writing characters for my story in a book and that's how I did it, that's cheating.
yeah.
Yeah, that
I mean,
ain't
'cause
cool.
you've come up with an original idea,
Yep.
which is the exile, and obviously his village being
See,
based in
that
village.
yeah, and that's what I loved. It was like, oh man, and that's sort of like, you know, that's the crux of his character because he's like, my people exiled me even though I was fucking innocent, and that pisses me off. And now they're all dead, and I couldn't save them. Ah, pain. But then, in a horrible twist of fate, that exile has saved my life. So, like, the cause of his pain is also the cause. It's beautiful. It's brilliant.
Yeah,
But I feel like I handed that to Chat GPT and it unlocked it in like a whoa.
yeah, yeah. And I think that in a nutshell, that is both the strength and the concern that you have about,
Yeah,
because you could literally have just said, "I never got that from ChatGPT. I just came up with that
absolutely. Yeah,
myself."
yeah,
But yeah,
yeah. No, absolutely.
and it's
This
if
is
it's that easy, for one prompt, and that's the first try at the prompt as well.
yeah. First try.
There are methods where you kind of force it to give you the outcome you want it by just using the same prompt every time, over and over again, because it learns from things that you perhaps don't want. Maybe if you say, like, "I'll remove that sentence from this," or remove that part of it and add something else, so it can
Yeah,
continuously build on the idea. Um,
yeah,
but it's how quickly that just can snowball into a entire story is ridiculous.
yeah. Absolutely. And I mean, this is fucking slander. No, it's not. No, I'm joking. Because I'm not actually accusing any individual person. There's got to be a lot of writers out there doing this now, surely.
100%.
Because look at it would
I
be
don't have
irresistible.
I don't have any doubt in my mind there is books, fantasy books, any sort of fiction out there right now that has been part written or entirely written
Yeah,
by AI.
yeah. I mean, I know a lot of things, a lot of places and platforms are coming down on it hard. Like on YouTube, if you upload a video, you have to state whether your thumbnail has any AI in it, whether the
Mm,
video has any AI in it, whether the video is assisted in editing by AI. I don't know what that would do to the algorithm or anything like that. I would imagine it wouldn't help, as they're kind of obviously trying to be seen as like, oh, don't use AI.
yeah.
I guess it's just because it could be misleading for the viewer, but this is an industry built on clickbait. So,
Yes.
but yeah, it's interesting for sure.
It just I don't know, it just feels like if someone tells me it you could do I'm sure there will be a blind test at some point. Someone will make a game, put all their original ideas into it or a film or TV show, and then they'll have an AI generated one and people will go, which one's which? And then there'll
Yeah,
probably be the point. where you're like, I don't fucking know which one's which, and then that's when everyone's like, okay, that's I don't know how I feel about that
Yeah.
because it's I don't know, maybe it's something that's inherently just human is to create art, and we don't see AI as sentient or human, obviously.
Mm.
So, are they allowed to do it? Should they be allowed to do it? I say they. I don't even know what to really class them as, but
Yeah.
it's, it is
Well, it's
strange.
weird because I see art as an expression of emotion.
Okay,
And if a machine doesn't have emotion, how can it do that? But then it's not doing it off its own back, is it? Really?
no,
It has to, like, a human being doesn't have to be prompted other than by their own mind. But a machine isn't just creating art unless it's programmed or prompted to do so.
mm,
So surely, in a sense, not really. I was going to say the AI is an extension of the person.
okay.
I mean, I think I know the point I'm trying to make here. What is the difference between a person um, putting in a prompt for whatever, not even art, whatever, like I did? What's the difference between me doing what I did with Ilaran Ravenpath, the exiled ranger that seeks vengeance, and a mathematician putting an equation into a calculator rather than working it out themselves?
Mm, yeah.
It's
I mean,
machine assisted to to a conclusion.
I would say that one is there's only one answer for the maths. Well, one correct answer for the maths question. Like if you search a question in Google, you are essentially relying on someone else telling you what it is.
Yeah.
Um, Whereas if you prompt AI to create something that hasn't necessarily been created before, based on just a few lines or an idea that you have, then it is. I feel it is something different because
Yeah.
it's not like a factual equation. If you're just putting in a maths question,
Yeah, I know, but I guess my point is less the totality of the answer, but more just person, machine assistance,
oh
uh,
yeah,
end result,
yeah,
or like it's a tool, isn't it?
yeah, 100%. Like, and the tool I feel is I feel like there probably were at the time when calculators were first like brought out
Yeah,
or on the sort of I don't know trajectory. Probably mathematicians going, well, if they can't do the maths, what the fuck? Like, why are
yeah,
we bringing these out for? Are we going to be out of a job?
yeah.
Um, I guess there probably would have been the same uproar. I don't know.
I mean, it's like our friend Dan. Different Dans are down on here. He works in uh, what does he do?
Is it
Basically, he
like metal
creates,
fabrication, isn't it?
yeah, metal fabrication. So he creates different things out of metal for oil rigs and things like that.
Mm.
And so he has a fucking massive precise drill that um can create fucking angles of like 0.00001 millimeter.
Yeah,
Um and that is entire, he inputs the program. He inputs it into a computer which then gets the drill to create the thing.
yeah,
That is a prompt and a machine and an end product that would previously have been made by hand.
yeah,
So, other than the copy, if you take the copyright shit out of it, AI is just another tool used by humans, in my opinion.
yeah. I think
Obviously, the copyright is a massive, massive factor. I get that.
yeah,
Don't hate me.
I think the fact that I mean, for example, taking Dan, he's basically there to double, triple, quadruple check stuff is
Yes.
input correctly and then basically supervising the the machine. Um, I would say that the machine does at the moment an infinitely better job than Dan could do by hand, just because you have the element of human error,
Yeah.
and there's always micro tremors in your hand. So you're not going to be as precise as a dedicated machine for that,
Yeah.
which doesn't have that. It doesn't have any muscles,
Yeah.
fibers, or anything like that. When it
You-
crosses over into creating stuff that isn't predefined, that's that's the difference. In my opinion,
Yeah.
that's like art
Yeah.
is this, and then that is that. But I do take your general point that it is basically man giving the machine the onus to make something, whether it
Yeah.
be an equation or fabricating a piece of metal. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think art's one of those things to protect this kind of protected, whether it's physically or just mentally in your mind. You feel a bit
Mm.
icky about your art not being made by an artist. Um,
Yeah. I think it loses value.
I mean, I could fully see a scenario where they both sides have to basically cave, and for example, film studios will have to advertise that the TV show or the film is made with AI,
Yeah.
to the point where I almost think it becomes a selling point that your product doesn't have AI in it.
Yeah.
So, like, if you had
Yeah.
like a game or something that has like made with no AI on the I don't know, the advertisement for it. I was gonna say the game disc, but who the fuck's buying discs? Um,
True.
but yeah, that's I'd see that as a potential sort of scenario
Yeah.
playing out.
Yeah. I guess it, you know, yeah. The Late Night with the Devil had that, didn't they? They had a bit of backlash because a couple of the like pull away ad segments, which were literally just like stills on the screen for a few seconds. Apparently, some of those were made with AI, and there's a
Okay.
massive backlash about that,
Mm.
which is just like, so it shows how passionate people are about it. Um, Even for something as little as that, which they were. I think their argument was they were just trying to capture the '70s feel or whatever. But great
Yeah.
movie,
I've
you
not
know.
seen it, but I have heard you talk about it a few times.
Yeah, it's good. I've watched it twice now, but yeah, no, I don't know. I haven't seen what video games are using it. I haven't seen that.
I don't know of any video games that are implementing it.
Oh, right, but it's a risk.
It's like, obviously something that the studios will be looking at, because it's a cost saving measure at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Would you rather pay an artist or a voiceover actor, hundreds of thousands of dollars or pounds, or would
Mm,
you rather just use an AI model that would be able to subscribe to use against all your projects for probably like a tenth of the cost?
yeah.
It's definitely something that they'll be exploring. I mean, I think is it Nvidia have made dedicated chips, partly because of obviously this is why their you know profit or their stock price is so high. They make chips dedicated for AI projects, so
Yeah.
they've got like all in on that.
Yeah. AMD are doing it as well.
Yeah, I mean everyone's jumping on the AI bandwagon. It's a seller. It gets people
Yeah.
through the door, gets eyes on the companies, whatever. Um, but there was, I think it might have been a few months ago, I saw a demo of an NPC, like basically having live conversation with someone in a game, and it was responding to what the person was saying, and it was using AI generated responses.
Really?
Which is obviously something that, I mean, you don't set that demo up without there being the concept to use that in the future. You don't just go, "Oh, this is a funny thing. Let me just, render this massively high budget looking fucking scene with NPC dialogue." to respond to the human that's saying stuff. So it's definitely on the horizon. Is
Yeah.
100%. They're planning to do stuff with it, and
Yeah.
it's probably been in the works for a while. Um, but it's just I don't know. It just makes me feel a little bit uneasy. I always think of, for example, The Last of Us. I think if that was made with AI currently, it would be worse. Like because I just don't think AI is that good yet to produce the same level of story and emotion that that game
Yeah.
had in it. But if I knew that it was made with AI and I found out, I feel like that would taint it a little bit. It would make
Mm.
it, I don't know, less impactful. Um, it might just be bias on my point. Maybe I should just be happy for it to be made by AI, but also at the same time, even you mentioned those scenes in the film. What was it called? The Devil
A Late Night with the
Night, Late
Devil.
Night with the Devil. Even those two
Mm.
advertisements, that would have potentially taken someone's job or a part of someone's job away from someone else. Because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, you have artists, you have people who work within the film industry to do those things. And then if you're using AI, how I don't know how much they used it in that small segment, but you think if there's any art in a game that's used or generated by AI, that's an artist who's potentially not going to be employed under that project. It snowballs. It definitely snowballs. So I feel like there's a certain level of acceptance in AI being in video games, but I don't know. I just feel uneasy about it creeping into story elements and things that involve human emotion.
Mm.
Uh, I don't know. Maybe they're just being a bit protective about it. I don't know, but I feel like a lot of people feel the same way.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it could help with things like, um, with reshoots of movies and stuff, um, voice dubbing and things like that, rather than having the actors come back in or whatever to reshoot, you could
Mm,
just kind of AI it a little bit around
yeah,
the mouth area.
yeah. I mean, I say that I would perhaps at the start I said that perhaps there is a place for it in games and
Yeah.
films and TV, but what I've just said, even if we take away, for example, a film needs to be translated into a different language, subtitles need to be applied. Should we just get AI to do that? Okay, well
Well,
you're taking a job away from someone else. I mean, it's
yeah.
how that goes. That you're like, okay,
I mean, I don't know how Hollywood editing works, but obviously I edit on it, and so do you edit on Adobe Premiere Pro,
yeah,
which has a transcript function, an AI transcript function, which I doubt there would be, and I could be wrong. I doubt there'd be people whose job it is specifically to do that. It would be within the remit of the editor, and as an editor, that AI function to have it auto create subtitles has saved me hours and hours and hours and made my life better and easier.
yeah,
So I think, yes, there is always a risk of these things taking jobs, but I think some of these things can also increase job efficacy and job enjoyment because I remember it was the Harwich Fort video where I subtitled it or subtitled some of it. Um, and it took me hours. I spent an entire afternoon. And when I say spent an entire afternoon, I mean like 1 till fucking like 8:30,
yeah,
just typing out what is being said on the screen. And now Adobe will analyze the entire video in 20 to 25 seconds. generate the captions, and put them on the screen for you within a minute.
Yeah.
So you're taking something that took me fucking 8 hours and turning it into something that can be done for me.
Yeah.
You know, certain things with AI, even within the creative space, I think are a benefit. But obviously a lot of it isn't. I get that. But things like that, subtitle especially, that is just a mundane shit. Fuck it, transcribing. Fuck that.
Mm. Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, it's not perfect, especially with all the
No,
people's
no.
different accents out there. You know, mine included. Adobe gets a lot of the things that I say wrong, and you got to correct those. But it's a lot easier correcting maybe 20 words out of fucking 3,000 than
Yeah.
writing 3,000 of them.
Mm. Yeah,
So
definitely is one of the most time-saving things that has probably been ever really introduced to Adobe or
yeah,
editing in a whole, like, as a whole, really, for
yeah,
video. It is I mean, our accents, like I say, it's not I wouldn't say it's probably, like, about 80% proficient, um, but still, like you say, editing a few words, spelling mistakes, or, editing those to make them make sense is a lot easier and a lot less time consuming than
yeah,
having to manually go through the video, remember what someone said, and then put it in the right place, and then move to the next sentence and do the same thing for the entire video. So, yeah,
and making sure that the subtitle starts when the words are said and ends when the words finish is
yeah,
such a fucking ball ache. So
mm,
yeah, there's a lot to be said for it taking people's jobs, I'm sure, as things more become more automated. Um, but it will also improve a lot of people's jobs as well.
yeah,
Um, but also there is just maybe not so much in the creative space, fingers crossed. But you know, there will be jobs that will be lost, and you just got to look at the harsh reality. You know, fucking horse and carriage was booming until some prick went and made the car, and then all of a sudden, look at how who the fuck would want to go back to a horse and carriage? I mean, you can if you want. Go buy a horse and buy a fucking carriage. I bet you won't. You know.
yeah,
So that's just a reality of humanity as well. Is we just constantly evolve and
mm,
constantly progress and constantly try to make our lives easier.
yeah. No, it's true. It's true. I do think, when you try and not justify it, but when you try and lay out just the cold hard facts that productivity needs to be streamlined for these things to even exist. Um, it may well require some forfeit of process that used to be done by human and now is done by AI,
Yeah,
like someone transcribing. It's, unfortunate, but it's just the way of the world. You just got to innovate constantly and try and save time and money where you can. Otherwise, projects don't get made; they get cancelled, and you never fucking see them.
yeah,
So yeah, it's a fine line, definitely. I think at the moment there's one. I mean, even music, I don't even know where the fuck to start with that because music is a perfect example of you really not being able to tell unless it's vocals. Really, I feel like if you just give AI a sound to replicate or make a song with, and it knows how to, compile a song based on all other songs that it's referenced or learnt from. It's just really the vocals that you might be able to tell AI generated.
yeah,
I mean, oh no, Scott, who we do the investigations with for Drip,
yeah.
um, he
He
sent
made
us
those
quite a,
songs, didn't he?
yeah, he made the songs for Drip, and you wouldn't know apart from the vocals and the lyrics, you wouldn't know that it's AI generated just by listening to the actual instruments.
Yeah,
So it is crazy. It is crazy because that's another thing that I mean, I don't know how I feel about it. I don't honestly don't know how I feel about it because on the one hand, it seems a bit too easy just to be able to make that sort of shit or get a machine to make it for you. But I don't know. Is it losing another pillar of art or is it innovation? I don't know.
Mm.
Again, I don't know how do you feel any different like listening to AI generated music than you would do
Yeah,
just
yeah,
yeah,
definitely. It's just for, but it's more like just because it's a bit of a gimmick, and it's difficult because it's cool because it can be personalized. Scott made a load of songs about us doing paranormal investigations.
yeah,
That's just fucking cool. Like, but I don't think it goes past that. I don't think there's gonna be fucking gigs of AI music, personally. Could be wrong, obviously. I just yeah, I don't know. It might be used, like, oh, make me a cool riff, and then they'll steal that riff. But
yeah,
I don't think it'll I don't know. But then again, like, well, like drum and bass music and that, where they use, all um like samples on a computer. Don't get me wrong, takes skill and creativity to put it together into a song. I'm not shitting on drum and bass, but that is all on a computer. I know as
mm,
a person putting it together, but surely to some people who are like instrument purists, that's sacrilege.
yeah. I mean, you could go even further. I mean, Daft Punk are renowned for sampling other people's music and changing it, whether pitching it up, pitching it down, splitting it apart, using certain like fragments of another song. Some people see that as the same thing. Like you're literally using someone else's music to create music.
Yeah,
So I feel like it won't really end the debate. It's always brewing, but
yeah,
there's a massive difference in my opinion from that to having an entirely AI generated song or music album, whatever.
yeah,
Again,
yeah.
I just feel
No,
a
I
little
do.
bit icky. I don't know. I just don't
Yeah,
because when I think in music, I like to think of the bands that I listen to. They were in a room, like much like we were when we were in a band, just fucking around, trying stuff
yeah,
out,
yeah,
and then just jamming out, and then finding something that worked, and then
yeah,
recording. That's in my mind. That's the journey I think they've been through, and that's what makes the music in my mind better. It's completely placebo. The music is as good as it is without that backstory. It's a personal thing, but yeah, I would just prefer that they've been through that process and
yeah.
they've arrived with this album because of that. I don't know.
Mm, yeah,
But
yeah,
again, it's just one of those protected pillars. I feel art, whether it be painting on a canvas, recording an album, making a game or a film or a TV show. It's one of those things that you just think that it's automatically made by a human because it always has been. And then when you don't notice the difference, you have to ask yourself sometimes, well, does it really? Does it make a difference to me? I know it makes a difference to other people because they might potentially not be working. Like actors, I know there's a few actors that have I think it might have been Scarlett Johansson said that one of the AI companies had used her likeness without her knowing. Um, and you look at the potential, I don't know, timeline for that. And
mm,
does she go out of a job? Does she never do films again because they just use her likeness whenever they want? I know there's a copyright issue there clearly, and she'd probably sue the fuck out of them. But I'm telling you, there's going to be one actor. There's going to be multiple actors in the future that are probably not hitting the big time, maybe down on their luck, and a company comes and offers them a deal to just use their likeness for 10, 15, 20 years, maybe even the rest of their living life for a set fee,
Yeah.
and they take the money because they need the money. I feel like that's a very real and present kind of thing that could happen.
Yeah. No, I agree. I do agree. Be interesting to see, won't it?
Yeah.
Wonder who would you think would be the first to jump at that?
I don't this is probably I hope this is not true, but Kevin Spacey.
Oh,
I think Kevin Spacey is struggling because
yeah.
obviously he was had all that shit that went on and he was found not guilty. I can't remember. He went on to Piers Morgan show, was it? That he
Yeah.
said
Yeah.
he's had to sell everything just to get by, and he's going to try and get back on the horse. But the thing about I just don't know whether he's going to be given anything of any importance yet.
No.
How long does that perpetuate until you're like, okay, I'm just going to fucking take a massive payout in my eyes right now? But I feel that's someone they could possibly target.
Yeah.
I mean, he's done games, he's done voiceover work, he's been in obviously massive films and TV shows. I think he fits the bill of someone that they might target. I'm not saying he's absolutely, you know, desperate. I'm not saying he's on the street, but if I was a company looking to try and source someone's likeness who's renowned, has been in many good films, TV shows, has done work on video games, he's the first person I'd be targeting
Yeah.
if it was me personally.
Yeah.
Bit callous because you know what he's been through, and you know obviously he's in a bit of a shit spot, but you got an opportunity there. You identify one, you try and take it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, wouldn't surprise me. Wouldn't surprise me.
But yeah, I mean, if there was going to be one company to start doing this shit, I think it would be Disney.
Yeah.
In my opinion, that's like the next. I feel like that's on the horizon. Disney is like they're pumping out so much shit,
Yeah.
and I mean like shit.
Yeah.
The vast majority of their stuff they pump out is shit now. Mind you, I haven't seen the Deadpool Wolverine film, so apparently
It's
that's
really
pretty good.
good. I really liked it. Yeah, I really liked it a lot.
I will be going to see that soon.
Yeah.
But apparently that is his name Paul Mullen? He makes a
Yeah.
cameo in the film. Is that right?
Yeah, it's been revealed since. I mean, you don't see him,
Right, okay.
like his face, but apparently he was a character in it.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Imagine just I don't know who he played for before. Was it like Cambridge or Colchester or something like
Yeah, because I think they were like League Two, and he
that?
came down to play for Wrexham
Yeah. Imagine just like
after
you're
being
playing,
like top goal scorer. I think.
yeah, playing in a Cambridge or Colchester side.
I
I
think
can't
it was
remember.
Cambridge. I think.
Cambridge. Yeah. And you just like within 3 years, you're in a Hollywood film.
Yeah, and it
Craziness.
is
Fucking
not
ridiculous.
about.
But yeah, I definitely want to see Deadpool with Wolverine. That is cool.
Yeah,
Oh, it looked cool anyway.
yeah. No, it was. It was very, very good. I really enjoyed it. It was awesome.
And that was a film, interestingly, that was, although it was a different strike, that was affected by the writers' strike that there was a year or two ago
Yeah,
that got pushed back. So yeah, it's I don't know. Art is one of those things that people get very worked up about. So it would be
yeah,
interesting to see where AI can fit or coexist in that environment because I mean, Twitter is a apps. Well, it's not even Twitter anymore, but X is a cesspool, no matter like about anything. But if you read what people are saying, and the sentiment on Twitter is, we don't want fucking AI on our projects. But at the end of the day, you're not the one paying the money to the staff. You're not the one in the business looking at the fucking balance sheet.
Yeah.
You're, it's a hard balance, and it's going to be one really that I think both sides are going to have to make compromises on
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, hopefully, hopefully it's just little bits here and there, maybe some NPC dialogue that we never fucking hear anyway, or
Yeah.
like some visual assets in the game that don't really make that much difference. And that's where it's kind of stays for a while. But ever the pessimist, there will, I do not have any hesitation to say there will be massive strides to try and get it into the game to do like narrative stuff or quest building or anything like that. I think they'll try
Yeah.
their damn hardest to put it in there.
Yeah, absolutely. It's cutting
Yeah.
corners, isn't it?
Cost saving. That's the name of the game. Literally, that is the next game. It's going to be called Cost Saving, and it's going to be made entirely by AI.
Nice.
Still going to cost 70 quid though.
Yeah.
Disgusting. But anyway, thank you for joining me, Jordan. It's been a
It's all right. No worries.
interesting one, and I
Yeah.
hope you develop your character for D&D.
Yes. Yes.
Get some more backstory.
I'm
How
currently
much backstory do you have to have? There's like a minimum of like 4 or 5 paragraphs.
No,
or-
yeah, it's just a couple of, you only need a couple of lines, and then like the DM can then build it into the story sort of thing. So
the dungeon master.
yes. Yeah,
Sick.
so yeah, no, it's good.
Cool. Well, I'm sure we'll revisit AI. We genuinely visited quite a lot, to be honest, on the channel.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. Sometimes quite fear mongering, but it's here. I don't really see it going away. So we're just gonna have to kind of live with the fact that it might just, end life. I don't know. But will it end life before it makes an entire film or TV or video game by itself? I don't know.
Mm,
That's the big question.
yeah.
Maybe it makes one just before it ends all life. It's like, here's the film you always wanted, the best film in the world that's ever been made, better than Tarantino stuff, better than Martin Scorsese, and then end credits. By the way, we've pulled the plug. Shit.
Yeah.
That's it. What a way to end the pod.
That's it.
That's it. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Appreciate you being here. And we'll see you in the next one. Up the APMA. Bye-bye for now.
See you guys.